And we welcome you back in. Saturday night means a little trip down Convince Me Boulevard. That's right, the best graphic in television and the only graphic for this kid. Sam, go ahead, take your shots. What's that?
I'm convinced this homemade, time for a new book cover for this homemade book you got.
That's my rule book, man. Don't disparage.
There's nothing in the book but the cover. The only writing is on the outside of the book. There's nothing on the inside.
It is getting a little tattered, I have to say.
This is a book for dummies.
I told you, ask KG to give me just a few pennies out of the Area 21 budget, and I'll go get some leather-bound books.
KG tight like this, dude. He got his first dollar he ever made in Minnesota.
All right, let's get to it. People, trends, teams, the guys convinced me that their answer is the correct one. So we'll start with you, Sam. Convince me that the Washington Wizards, on a real roll right now, particularly at home, can ascend and hold on to that number 2 spot in the Eastern Conference. Have they figured it out?
Yes, they have. Everybody talks about Vince, Bradley Beal and John Wall, which they should. Those two guys are having great years. But the third guy who's really put them over the top has been Otto Porter.
Yes.
So when you look at how they're playing and you look at how Scott Brooks got them moving the basketball, and John Wall is playing the best he has ever played. And if you look at Cleveland, Toronto, other than Boston's playing well, but you look at the teams that have been at the top all year, Cleveland and Toronto, they are struggling right now. And so if you're Washington, you have to have confidence that you can come back and make a run for that number 2 or even the number 1 spot, because you shouldn't be afraid of it. No one in the East should be afraid of each other right now.
Scott Brooks said that maybe Wall is an all-NBA guy. You know, he may have reached that level with his performance this year. What say you, Mike?
When Wall and Beal each score 20 or more points, they're 9-4. They're taking care of their home court right now. They've done a great job at winning games where they have to win, which is at home. Their defense is vastly improved. 12-1 when they hold opponents under 100 points. So you've got some things going on there, and the emergence of Gortat back again. He's alive, he's active, he's rebounding, he's scoring. Take that backcourt with a big guy who's rejuvenated, they can.
I agree. You convinced me. I think they can as well.
We get a half point apiece?
Especially the way that, you get a half point apiece, 0.5. So I'm convinced. The way they're playing, and they figured something out in terms of that alpha male this and that in the backcourt. But more than that, the message for Scott Brooks and the adjustment, I think, has kicked in for Washington. They've been fun to watch. Half point each. Although I can always deduct a half point. One more crack about it.
Well,
penalty. Watch
thank
out.
God I can already read, because there's nothing in there for me to read.
He's just taunting me right now. All right, convince me, Mike, that the Cavs must make a roster move in order to repeat as champions.
No, that's easy to do. This is the first month below 500 for the Cavaliers. Think about this. So 7-8 in the month of January. They are struggling. When Anderson went down, the only big bodies left were Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love, Channing Frye. That's it. They lost Mozgov. He was an important big piece. He took fouls. He could rebound the basketball a little bit. He defended the front of the rim for him. He could bang against other big bodies. They don't have that going on right now. Then they lose Anderson, who they brought in to try and have him as a piece of insurance. Kevin Love's back now. The spasm's taking place. He's missed a couple games. And let's talk about the backup point guard. No Mo Williams. So it's Kyrie and LeBron trying to start everything up because JR has the broken thumb. May not be back till middle or late March.
So you're saying they must make a roster move?
Well, they need to add pieces, yes.
Wow.
I agree with Coach. They need to add something. Look, listen to LeBron James, the best player on the planet in the NBA. This is all he's talking about. We need to add something. But I agree with Coach. You know, LeBron's talking about the backcourt, and they may need a guy back there. But when you watch Kyrie run that offense and LeBron with the ball, those two guys are as good as they get. I'm like, Coach, I think they need some front court help. They're thin up front. And Ernie Grunfeld used to say this to me all the time, my first year in Milwaukee. You may not need bigs to win the championship, but you need them to get there. And on this journey, they're going to run into a team where they're going to have to use their bigs and go deep with the big guys. And right now, they're thin up front. And Kevin Love has been in and out with back spasm. If he goes down, that means LeBron's got to have to slide to that 4th position. Mm-hmm. And I don't want LeBron in the paint banging for 40 minutes a night. You want him out front facilitating and getting the ball moving.
Well, I have to agree. I think they need a rim protector. Birdman did not work out. I didn't like the signing in the beginning with him and the team. He's injured now. They've got to get size inside and get rim protectors because aside from Tristan Thompson, and I know Love gets his rebounds, but Tristan Thompson's the only guy
That's it.
right now. That's
if he goes
pretty thin.
down,
even with
they
a
will
shorter,
really be in trouble.
even with going down to 8 guys maybe in postseason. So once again, split the point. They should make a roster move. Maybe after the trade deadline, possibly sign someone.
Sounds to me like he's kind of riding our backs right
He
now,
is,
doesn't
isn't
it? Yeah. Okay.
We need to buck him off, Coach.
I'm keeping score over here.
So now we got a full point. That means
let you
both
know,
of us, right?
Okay, convince me, Sammy, that even in a season, here's where it gets a little tougher. Even in a season that includes this Westbrook and Harden performance that's taking place, that you can make a case for Isaiah Thomas as MVP.
Absolutely, that's easy. Look, Westbrook and Harden, but they're having unbelievable seasons, but quietly, not even quietly. Look at what Isaiah Thomas has done in the Boston Celtics. Go back 3 weeks when Isaiah Thomas was hurt. Nobody was talking about Boston, right, Coach? Boston were losing games. They couldn't get it going. All of a sudden, Isaiah Thomas comes back. They're winning. They're winning tough games. They're beating good teams on their home floor and on the road. And the thing about it, he's leading the league in scoring in the fourth quarter. Do you understand how important it is? Fourth quarter is winning time, and you put the ball in your best player hands in the fourth quarter, either to score or facilitate. And he's been the best in the fourth quarter. And I know people don't understand that when you talk about Harden, Westbrook, Durant, Curry, and all those guys, but little Isaiah Thomas has been the best in the NBA in the fourth quarter.
He's a closer, all right. But
and Boston is winning. They're climbing up.
But, Mike, is it enough? Is it enough? Can you really try to convince somebody that it wouldn't be Harden or Westbrook?
I think it's pretty easy, actually. I think Sam just made you aware of the fact that this guy is not afraid of the moment. That fourth quarter, when the ball's in his hands and he knows he has to produce, he's gone out and he's done that. This is a very, very good Celtic team. In week number 3, I had a Boston Celtic game, and Brad Stevens said, Isaiah Thomas is, and it was 3 of these, very, very, very good. He saw it. He saw that Isaiah Thomas had gone to a different level altogether. He saw the confidence that he played with. He saw the team following the lead of Isaiah Thomas. He's taken over, spokesperson and leader on the floor.
Coach, you've coached a lot of great players. There's times in that huddle, last minute of a game, and you look in your star eyes. Some nights they didn't want the basketball, and you knew it. You look in this young man's eyes, and he wants the basketball, and for his size, he's had to fight for everything. And I like guys like that who had to scrap and fight for everything. So the moment is never going to be too big for him, and he loves proving people wrong, that he is the big man in a little man's body.
Well, once again, he forced himself into the conversation, and being in the league as the last pick, the 60th pick, now he's forced himself into the conversation for MVP. I don't think he would win that because we have such strong arguments for, particularly, I think, James Harden.
He can finish second, though.
But
if OKC starts losing,
I don't know if he can.
Well, if they start losing and they drop to 7th or 8th and they barely get in the playoffs, he may have a chance.
One thing, too, don't forget this. He's doing this for the Boston Celtics. There's an historical perspective that's taking place with Boston in terms of he might be the single-season scoring average leader for one season for the Boston Celtics.
Now think about that.
Passing Larry Bird. Right.
When you walk in the Boston Garden, what do you see? Banners and names.
Chasing John Havlicek for these games with 20 straight. So he's doing this with the surroundings of being in this sacred place in the NBA.
Was your question, can he win or can he get into
I just wanted to make a case.
Or can he get into the race for the MVP?
I think you can put him in the conversation. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I've enjoyed watching him play. He's been a great surprise, and he's played with unbridled joy this year.
I think this is going to come down to the 82nd game before
that'd be
make
crazy.
their mind up.
You guys split a point again. It's 1.5, 1.5. This is it right here. Finally, this, Mike. If the league is going small, then why is the Taco Bell Skills Challenge during All-Star Weekend going big? Why are these big guys in the Skills Challenge? Why?
Because recently, over the last few years, you may have noticed that there are big guys behind the three-point line, shooting all
not
these
handling the ball.
three-point shots. So that means that their skill level has been raised because they're outside now not only shooting threes, but going dribble handoffs with their teammates, setting screens on the perimeter, rolling, catching the ball, and then improving by one dribble. So last year, when Karl Anthony Towns won the skills competition, I think it shocked a lot of people, but then you sat back and wait a minute. This is like a point guard who grew up, and he grew up into a 7-footer.
Well, Sam, what is it with these guys? Do they all think they're point guards?
Vince, all big guys want to dribble and shoot threes. All little guys want to post up. We was talking about in the back. I had TJ Ford, and he wanted to back people down and post up. And then on defense, when the bigger point guards would post him up and we send help, he get mad at us for giving him help. Those guys, that's just how they're built. But, yeah, big guys always want to play outside and dribble the basketball. Karl-Anthony Towns used to bug me every day about putting in a pick-and-roll play where he handles and Ricky Rubio set the screen for him and let him come off. And guess what? We did it because he proved he could handle the ball and make the decisions.
But once these guys win a skills competition like Cat did, and maybe it's going to be DeMarcus Cousins, maybe KP, can you ever get them fully back? Are they ever going to come back?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, they know where their bread is buttered at.
And it may help you out a little bit because you can say to them, listen, you can do this because we just seen you do it and you won at All-Star Weekend, so we're going to put a little more responsibility on you making good decisions with the basketball.
You guys, I made it easy for you. So you tied at 2. Here's your tiebreaker. Give me the winner, Mike, in Super Bowl LI on Sunday.
Well, this is hard for me because I lived in Atlanta for so many years and I have that Atlanta red blood flowing through my veins. However,
quickly you flipped on that.
Having said that, I think New England is your winner.
So you're going to lay the 3 points?
I am going to.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that. You see my tie, and I'm just going to do this, baby. The dirty bird, come on.
Atlanta.
Well, that
It's not even going to be close, man. It's going to be by 2 touchdowns.
One of us will split the contest right
By 2 touchdowns.
All right, we will find out the winner
2 touchdowns.
I'll take
next
that
week.
I got the coach. That dollar we always bet, got it.
Can I, if you bet $1, can the winner buy me a new cover for my book?
You remember that movie Trading Places?
Yeah.
More than that. $1. There you go, coach.
Here's your dollar. All right, that's going to do it for us. When we come back, we'll delve a little bit deeper into the Cleveland Cavaliers situation. Is LeBron going to get help? We'll go to one of the voices of the Cavs to get some answers as his team sets up Saturday in New York.